kalani, o ki hai kalani, o e kalani, nunului kalani, ka holoi kalani, e no mako na pula pula o kia aina, e mālama o kou ia mako, e ului kalani, e ului ka honua, e ului ka pai aina o Hawaii, e ho mai ka ike, e ho mai ka ikaika, e ho mai ka akamai, e ho mai ka mau pokopono, e ho mai ka ike pāpālua, e ho mai ka mana. Aloha mai ka kou. So what happens to the ones forgotten? Right? The ones who shape my heart from their rib cages, I want to taste the tears in their names, trace their souls onto my vocal cords so that I can feel related again because I have forgotten my father's own grandparents' middle names, forgotten what color thread God used to sew me together with, but there is a culture, a people, somewhere beneath my skin that I've been searching for since I left because it's hard to feel sometimes because at Stanford, I was taught to be innovative. The city of Macintosh breeds thinkers of tomorrow, so I have forgotten how to remember, but our roots cannot remember themselves, will not remember how to dance unless we are chanting for them, and will not sing unless we are listening, but our tongues, they feel too foreign in our own mouths, we don't dare speak out loud. So we can't even pronounce our own parents' name, and who will care to remember mine if I don't teach them? I want to teach my future children how to spell family with my middle name, Heoli Meli Kalani, how to feel love with Kamaka Viva Ole, how to taste the culture in the Kumulipo, please. Do not forget me, my father, Kamaka Viva Ole, who could not forget his own, Lealoha. Do not forget what's left, because this is all we have, and you won't find your roots online. We have no dances or chants if we have no history, just rants. No roots, just tears. This is all I have of my family history that's real, and now it's yours. O Daisy kae ava ava ka wahine, o Charles Moses kamaka viva ole ke kane, noho pula o ahana ia o Eliza Lealoha kamaka viva ole he wahine, o Eliza kamaka viva ole he wahine, o Emil Montero Osorio he kane, noho pula o ahana ia o Elroy Thomas e aloha Osorio he kane, o Elroy Thomas e aloha Osorio he kane, o Clara K kuule he wahine, noho pula ahana ia o Jonathan K kamaka viva ole Osorio he kane, o Jonathan K kamaka viva ole Osorio he kane, o Mary Carol Dunn he wahine, noho pula ahana ia o Jamaica, Heoli Meli Kalani Osorio he wahine. Do not forget us, mai poina. How you guys doing? Oh, it's hot. Aloha mai kako. I am so sorry I made you read that incredibly long biography. That was really, really long. My apologies. My name is Jamaica Heoli Meli Kalani Osorio, and it is such an honor to be here with you guys today, to take this journey with you. I wanted to start with, first of all, that chant. It's a chant I learned at Ke Kula Kaiapuni o Anuenue, which is a Hawaiian immersion school. So shout out to all the charter schools and immersion schools in the room right now, or outside right now. Even those from across the ocean, I know we have probably some immersion Maori students here as well. I wanted to start with these two things because as Kanaka Maoli, we believe it's important that we introduce ourselves by introducing our family. So at the end of my poem was a very abridged version of my mo'oku'ohau, my genealogy, starting with my great-great-grandmother, Daisy Ka'e'awa'awa, and then following down to me. In the poem, I introduced my father, Jonathan K. Kamakviva Ole Osorio. He grew up on the island of Hawaii in Keaukaha. Shout out to those Keaukaha kids around. I, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on your perspective, grew up in Honolulu, in Palolo Valley. And I am a product of all the people I named in that mo'oku'ohau and the akua and the kupuna that are inferred in the chant before. So thank you for welcoming me, for welcoming my ohana. This is my home. I was matured on these hills. My future began in some of, not these buildings because they didn't exist, but the buildings up there. I caused a ruckus. We are here because the Kamehameha, well, for a lot of reasons, but we are physically here because the Kamehameha Schools was started in 1887 by a trust by Pernice Boahi Bishop. Some of you guys may know that, some of you don't. I think it's important we acknowledge that. We are only able to benefit from her bounty because she honored her kupuna and her mo'opuna by deciding that education was essential to the continuing of her people. So I'm really honored to share in stories and education with you guys today at one of the most amazing educational institutions in the world. I wrote some things down because I get really excited and nervous when I see young people in front of me and then I forget all the important things. But I wanted to honor what we're here to do today. You know, we all have come from our different parts of the world to celebrate each other, to honor our kuleana, our responsibility, our privilege in being po'oiwi, indigenous people. We came to protect our sacred bodies of water, of land, and each other, to insist that the world respect our sacredness. We've come to heal collectively from the scars of colonization, racism, hate, fear. We came to write, to sing, to dance, to weave, to leave imprints of ourselves in this collective mo'olelo. We've come to honor and remember our kupuna, our akua, our gods, our parents, our mo'opuna, the future generations. We have taken the first steps just by being here today. Our backs bent over with the weight of our lahui. We have carried all that we could to share with each other our victories and our defeats, to learn to be a stronger, more resilient, and honorable world. We have come to write our own version of the story, to insist that our agency as po'oiwi is honored, that we have control of our today and our tomorrows. And you know, just 3 days ago, for those of you who are here, Hawaii sent 2 va'a out into the vast Pacific Ocean to travel the world. So 3 days ago, the Pacific Voyaging Society took a major step in our journey as Kanaka. Chihi! Tohoku lea and hikina lea, for their bravery and for their innovation to show the world that po'oiwi and Kanaka Maoli are some of the most innovative and brilliant people on this planet. Today, we have come in the same way to take a step of our own. And though some steps seem more grand, more impactful, I assure you that every single step we take together is significant. So I want to thank you guys for your contribution today, for coming here, for taking a step, for believing that coming together as Indigenous people is important, that believing that just by the virtue of being here, that we are changing the world. I want to end with a gift to you all, a poem and then a chant. But first, you guys are like really excited, and I totally bored you down. So we're gonna do a little thing. In Hawaii, when you say ʻEo mai, you're like trying to just make sure you have a little support, like who's here, right? So I'm gonna start with one of the charter schools because I trust you guys. So I'm gonna say halau kumana ʻEo mai. And then they're gonna say ʻEo and make me feel a little better about myself. And then I'm gonna call to all of you, and you're just gonna follow their great example. Is that cool? E halau kumana ʻEo mai. Like that, but louder, okay? So I'm gonna say, e nā poʻoiwi ʻEo mai, and you guys just yell ʻEo as loud as you want, and then I'll feel really good about myself, and then the day will just be awesome, okay? E nā poʻoiwi ʻEo mai. E nā poʻoiwi ʻEo mai. E nā poʻoiwi ʻEo mai. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to offer you guys a poem, and then I'm going to go into a chant that was taught to me by my father. We actually did it earlier, but I'm going to do it anyway because I think my words shouldn't be the last words said up here. So if you guys know it, please join with me after the poem. To-do list. Learn to do a backflip. Remember to yourself that falling backwards blind isn't nearly as scary as it sounds. With the right support, anything terrifying can be liberating. Keep things. Not everything, but all the trinkets you've come to think are worthless, hold them like the goddesses they once were. Remember which hearts and memories sing, and then give them away to the beautiful people you meet. The rock that looks like a silver heart, give it to the girl who doesn't know that she's in love with you yet. Let her ease into that insecurity, and then hold her like she never doubted you for a second. The dinosaur figurine, give it to the boy in Texas whose heart he seemed to bloom in your eyes at dawn. Remember the taste in your mouth when you realized he is a miracle, and the transparent glass chess piece. Hold that for yourself. Remember that even a pawn can turn the game around with a step in the right direction. Find beauty in all of these lessons. Stop biting your nails. It's not only disgusting, but no one should be able to see the weakness of your heart on your hands. They should be the strongest bits about you. Remember, you held Jesus in those palms once, made a blanket of rosary for him to kneel in. You have nothing to be ashamed of. So mow the lawn twice a year, just to remember that even the most mundane can grow in 6 months. Bottle the smell, leave it beside your pillow for when you need a reminder during slumber. When you feel like you aren't moving forward, think of your first word, your first breath, your first kiss, and remind yourself how many you've had since. The progress you've made will be impossible to ignore. So love yourself. Take every compliment you get, no matter how far-fetched, and tie them to your extremities. When you have enough to make a kite, run until you are airborne, and remember never to doubt your miraculousness again, because Jesus only walked on water. You hold that golden substance in your belly. You were half the miracle. Remember, though, you are infinitely small, just a piece of an everlasting cycle of inspiration. Take peace in that power. You are so significant in this puzzle. Do not let your size fool you. Every drop of salt in the ocean is necessary. So touch the people you meet. Remember the textures of their palms and necks. Hold them like your mother taught you, hard and long. And remember, everything is permanent in this world. We have just forgotten how to see and speak to the other side of reality. Don't you dare pretend that this life is all there is. Your spirit deserves far more credit than that. So be love. It's the only right way to be anymore, and there are so many versions, but be the one you feel in your bones, the one that builds fires in the rib cages of beautiful girls, citizens of the world. Remember how you held her and how her eyes felt as if they saw something more than this skin, more than this molding. Remember how that made you feel real, small, and infinitely powerful. E o mai kai ke mai luna mai e o na mea huna no e o na mele